My name is Dr. Jen McClearen. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Radio, Television, and Film here at Moody College, and I'm going to tell you about my One Thing That Works. I do a student questionnaire at the beginning of the semester to get to know my students and also to create a more welcoming environment for all my students. The first thing that I ask is the name that they have on their university records so that I can match up my roster with the student in the class. But I also ask what name they like to be called in class and any pronunciation tips. This really helps me learn names and learn to pronounce them correctly, which is so important for creating a welcoming environment. I ask them what gender pronouns they would like me to use in the class. And I changed this actually from a previous year when I simply asked what gender pronouns they use for themselves, and a student responded they weren't sure because they were still figuring that out. So I changed the phrasing to what would you like me to use in the class, because it was only representing this moment in time and it seemed to be better for the students overall. I ask where are you from, which is a great question for international students because generally they like disclosing about where they're coming from. I ask them what's something interesting or unique about you, and this question is also a question I ask on the first day of class, and so I can match the students and their questionnaire with the student who's in the class because I've learned something already about them, so it's a way for me to remember which student is which. I ask what drew them to this particular class. And I also ask about any special learning needs or disabilities that they would like to disclose. And I will be getting information from disability services about any accommodations, but not everything is listed. And sometimes I can create accommodations based on student requests in these forms that can be really helpful and that don't take a lot of work. For example, I had a student who said the slides, dark background slides were difficult for them, and they had a hard time reading them. And so I adjusted all my slides to make sure that they were on a light background with dark lettering. I asked them what's something that really engages them in classes so that they can talk about what really motivates them in learning. And then I also ask a question at the end that is there anything else that you want me to know about? And this is a really great question because students can oftentimes disclose what's going on with them in particular that semester that might impact how well they're able to do in a class. And they want me to know that information because they want me to know that they want to be there, but there just might be other things going on. For example, I had a student tell me that they were working 2 jobs and taking 18 hours of credit in a given semester. And in my 9 a.m. class, they thought that there was a possibility that they might fall asleep. And so learning this type of information from our students is really helpful because they feel like they can let us know what's going on with them. And then I can make adjustments and make accommodations and just be generally more understanding about where my students are coming from. So that's my One Thing That Works.